What's up, everybody? If you're new here, my name is Justin. Most people call me GDT. Thank you so much for joining me on the video today. And in today's video, I am going to get short 2,400 shares of an $8 stock. So we're going to break down what happened in that trade, as well as two other trades today in this video. Live day trading, all recorded live. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you do, make sure you hit like, make sure you hit subscribe. Check out all the links down below, garagedaytrader.com, which is kind of a little bit of everything. Make sure you guys check all that out. This will be my only day trading this week. Gonna hopefully get some other videos ready for before the holiday on Thursday. So my only trading day this week. I'll be back next week. Hopefully you guys have a great week of trading and a great holiday if I don't talk to you between now and then. Let's go, let's trade. Alright, so the first trade of the day was the big one right here out of the opening gates. I was watching SHC. You could see it alerting down on the scanner below me, and really this one went a little bit awry, but only because I didn't look at the daily chart. It was in a huge gap down on the daily chart, so I should have been waiting for much more had I seen that. But as it was, I end up starting SHC here with 300 shares short at 850. I was prepared to get bigger size into this one because of the price and the range that I felt that it had. So I started with 300 shares in this one at 848, and I'm going to wait and see what it does. So the plan here is if we come back down towards 8, I will look to start piecing it out. But if we go higher, push towards 9, obviously I'll be looking to add in. But look what happens here. I wasn't really paying attention to the halt price at all, and as it pushes up into 861, that's where it's starting to hit the halt price. I never enjoy halts. They're just not fun to be in and have to wait around for 5 minutes while nothing happens, wondering what your trade is going to do. But it is going to volatility halt here at 861, which means it's going to be paused for 5 minutes because it's made a crazy move and the stock market needs a break from it. So we're getting ready to reopen up after that 5-minute volatility halt. So nothing is a completely normal thing. If you guys aren't familiar with them, happens all the time. And as we pop out here, I go ahead and add in 300 more shares as it's over 870, just thinking maybe it's going to do one of those little quick pops out of the open of the halt and then do the drop, which they like to do a lot of times. So I wanted to make sure I got some more shares in the event that it did that. So in 600 shares short here now at 861 on SHC, and we'll look to see what it does. I'm not going to look to cover any of this out at this point unless it comes down under both entries, because it's certainly got that possibility, especially after that halt there. So I'm looking at it now and I'm like, okay, where could this thing go potentially? I think it could make a little bit of a run through 9. So I'll be looking for a run through 9 for my next ad. And then if it wants to go from there, the game plan will be find your stop. So I'll be looking for a move through 9 here now on SHC. Have 600 shares short. If we make a nice move through 9, I'll be looking to get another 600 shares in to the short side. So here it comes. Here's a nice move through 9. I initially put an order out here at 916 for 600 shares. I don't get filled right away, so I cancel that out. I'm like, okay, I think I can probably get a little bit higher now that I didn't get that fill. So it moves up into the 920s here, moving towards the 930s. I'm gonna go ahead and get 600 more shares right there. So I now have 1,200 more shares here at an average of 1,200 total shares at an average of 892. And the game plan here was I was kind of working off of 950. So in my head, I said, okay, let's see what it does at 950. If it blasts through 950, I'm just going to have to cut this one off for a loss, take close to max loss on this one. But if it makes the move and either it rejects 950 or it does one of those little fake breaks through 950, I've got the opportunity here to add in another 1,200 shares and then have a stop just immediately right over that, so that I'm getting bigger share size, I'm getting my average up, but I'm not really putting on much extra risk at all at that point. So that's what I'm going to wait and see what SHC can do here as it pushes 950. I'm either looking for the reject or I'm looking for a fake breakthrough. If it just rips through, I got to stop out here and take the loss. If it gets through, comes back, and then rips through, got to take the loss. But I'm going to wait and see what it does at 950. It's all about how it reacts in that area, depending on what I do at this point. So, you know, we're unrealized down almost $700 at this point. Max loss that I want to be around is 1,000. Don't really want to be over $1,000 loss on any given trade or any given day. So have that in mind as well, but we're going to see what it does here, because even if I'm able to add in and then stop out right away over the top, if it does do that, it won't really affect my max loss here, because we're going to keep that extra 1,200 shares real tight if it gets up into that area. So here it comes as it's pushing up towards 950. I want to see what it does here. It gets through 950 and it's kind of doing what I wanted. It's not pushing through 950. It gets through, does a fake like little break, trying to sucker people in to get them in as it's through 950. And I'm watching it here. If it gets up through 960-ish, I'm going to get a little worried and probably have to stop. But it comes right back down off of 960. So if I see it start to come back down towards 950 at point, that's where I want to add in. And that's what I do. I add in 1,200 more shares there at 951. I now have 2,400 shares short at an average of 921. And now the stop on all the shares will be right over the highs. So right over 960 here is going to be the stop on all 2,400 shares, which was the game plan. And you're going to see here in a second, I'm going to go ahead and put that stop in. So a minute or so goes by, and here comes the stop. I got to get it ready. I elect to put it in at 965 just to give it a couple cents of wiggle room in case it wants to do a little fake. So there it is. There's the stop. Sticking to the game plan, all in at 965 to stop out if it makes the move higher. If it makes the move higher, I'm going to take close to max loss here and just call it a day and move on. Still be nice and green on the month, but obviously that would not be fun. So it's just part of the game, though. Sometimes a max loss is going to happen. But as it comes back down here, I'm looking for a nice big move down through 920 ideally to hopefully get, my shares into an okay profit zone before I start cutting them off. But it starts getting hung up here at 920 and my average is at 921. I'm like, I can probably reduce this thing down, and then if it wants to come back up and make a new high from here, at least I'm going to take much less of a loss. So I'm looking at reducing it down. I go ahead and take 2,000 shares off there at 918. So I've realized a loss of $53, but I've still got 400 shares to hang on to. One, if it wants to go lower, and two, if it now wants to go up through the highs again, I'm only going to lose on that 400 shares at the high a day instead of the full 2,400. So, we'll see what it does. We're just going to kind of sit in it and see what these 400 shares can do for me. But while I'm in that, Futu starts popping up. So I move over to my other screen, and Futu starts popping up here. So I'm looking at it. It's a pretty decent move off the bottom. I'm trying to see if I want to get into this while I'm still in my SHC position, which you can still see loaded up there and going. So I decided to go ahead and start Futu short here at 52.40 and see what it can do. See if it moves back down under 52. Ideally, if it moves quickly up through 53, that would be an add spot. So while I'm in Futu now, SHC starts coming back down. I put 200 more shares out at 910. I initially get a partial fill of 184 there. So looking for that remaining 16 shares. I get that fill down at 910, and now I'm into the green there, realized at least in SHC, and we'll see what Futu can do. So Futu starts moving up here, but it's really slowed down and not doing what I like. So I'm going to watch what it does, and you can see here it popped up. I never got an ad there on the pop. It really didn't pop like I wanted, and as it's coming down here towards the 9 SMA and also my average, I'm looking at it, it's like, this thing looks like it's just going to hang on and bounce off of here. So I ultimately decide here that I'm just going to cut this one off. I'm just going to take this one off and take the loss there, $46 on Futu, live to fight another day. That one really wasn't acting like I wanted it to. So I take the loss there. Meanwhile, I'm still in short my 200 shares here on SHC, seeing if we can get those to move down further here. So I'm watching it as SHC pushes down towards 9. And it's really hanging on to 9. I'm like, do I want to hold all 200, or do I want to take some off here in case it just bounces off a 9 and moves higher again? So I'm trying to fight in my mind of what I want to do at this point, and eventually I decide on taking 100 shares off here in case it wants to bounce off of 9. So took another 100 shares off there, down to 100 shares left now on SHC, and then we'll see if those can move down through that $9 mark. So really what I'm looking for, if we can move down through 9, at least 890, 880s, that would look nice to take another 50. I'll be looking to piece out that final 100 shares into 50 lots, just because this does have a lot of room to the downside if it does want to make a nice break and start recouping some of those gains that it had made earlier. So there's the break of 9. Can we get a continuation further down through 890? Looking for at least a move through there to take another 50 shares off here in SHC. So it's coming down. Can we get down through 890 on the bid? Watching 890 here. What's it going to do? Can we get under? Is it going to bounce? 891, 890 there is under. I go ahead and take those 50 shares off. I get those at 887. So now I've realized $100 on SHC, and I still got 50 shares left if it wants to go down a bit further. So it actually came down nicely after this. It just slowly grinded down, and I was waiting for the move down through 850 at this point, and you can see I was just pulling my trail down on these remaining 50 shares. So I was going to at least be nice and green on those remaining 50 shares and just kind of trailing it down. But if we got a nice move down through 850, I was looking to take all of these shares off here. And unfortunately, I kind of messed up what screen I was on. I was watching Etsy there, and I didn't get it recorded, but I do take it off fully there down in the 840s for realizing 152. So all out there. And then I got a little bonus long here a little bit later in the day that I also didn't get recorded at in DraftKings here, as it came down on news that there were some hacks. Just a little scoop long there at 13.69, out at 13.89 a minute later for an extra $40. And I'm all done there, and I'm all done on the day. So after all that being said, I'm up $146 on the day. Certainly could have been a lot worse. Also could have been better. But, you know, overall, I stuck to the plan. Pretty much the most important part of how I trade in my strategy is being able to stick to the stop plan. And I stuck to the stop plan. So happy with that. Happy it came down for me and I was able to make some money on the day. Like I said, this is my only day trading this week with the holiday and everything coming up. This is my only trading day. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you hit like, make sure you hit subscribe. It's absolutely free for you. It means everything for me. I appreciate it. I'll catch you later.